Hey everybody, welcome back to Swiftlessons for another acoustic jazz standard. In today's session, we're going to expand your knowledge of jazzy chord forms as I break down Chet Baker's 1954 version of My Funny Valentine. This is going to be a great song to explore the fretboard with as you get down some very cool rhythmic embellishments and also a little bit of the lead line that you hear in the original piano track. Now, this is also going to be an opportunity to check out the Neumann TLM 102. This is an awesome microphone. And of course, I'm going to be playing on this ZAD 9000 by Zager. Beautiful guitar. Now, let's get started with a full demonstration of the tune. I want you to see what you can figure out using your own intuition and your ear. Then you can jump into the instructional segments. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open it to speak, are you smart? But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. Let's break that down. Okay, a close look at the fretboard, getting started with our verse section. We're in standard tuning, the key of C minor. We're going to start off with this very ominous chord progression, finding the root note inside the chord, C minor, and flatten that note back by half steps. It's creating these very cool guiding tones from chord to chord. It looks and sounds like this. C minor, C minor major 7, C minor 7, C minor 6, A flat major 7 / C, that's doubled, D half diminished, G7 flat 13, D diminished, and D augmented. Okay, which I sometimes play with my thumb. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. Getting started with that first shape, the C minor chord, barring the 3rd fret, A string to high E, I've got frets 5, 5, and 4 on the D, G, and B strings. My thumb is nice and low, elbow inside, my index finger nice and straight for a nice clean bar chord sound. All right, now we need to flat that root note that we have on the G string. So we need to reconfigure our fingers. Now I've got my middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, ring finger on the B string 4th fret, and my pinky on the 5th fret of the D string. That's going to be a C minor major 7. All right, we're gonna flat that root note once again, and that's gonna make this chord C minor 7. All right, so barring that 3rd fret, I've got the 5th fret of the D string and 4th fret of the B. put those three shapes together and start breaking up the bass from the highs. Bass, high, switch chords, bass, high, switch again. Alright, now we're going to travel up the fretboard and find ourselves a C minor 6 chord. I've got the same root note, but now I'm finding it on the 8th fret of the low E string. I also have the 8th fret of the G and the B string as I grab the 7th fret of the D string. From there, we're just going to take this index finger down a half step, and we're going to create that A flat major 7 with the C in the bass. Put all those chords together and we have something challenging to practice. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, minor 7. Traveling up for the minor 6. Flat your index finger back and double that chord before grabbing yourself the diminished chord. Alright, this is a cool little zigzag shape. Okay, so that's frets 5, 6, 5, 6. D half diminished, but this is also sometimes referred to as a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now, I have two options here. I can play a chord progression, or I can borrow from the original piano line. Okay, but let's get down to the rhythmic option first, then I'll show you that lead trick. So the chords that are being implied are D half diminished, like I said, 1 and 2 and G7 flat 13, back to the diminished, and a G augmented chord, which we can play in a variety of different ways. Alright, so we had that little zigzag shape, 1 and 2, then that G7 flat 13, that'll be frets 3, 3, 4, 4. Alright, making sure to block the A string and also the high E string. Alright, from there we're going back to the diminished shape before throwing in a G augmented chord. Alright, that's going to be frets 3 on the low E string. You can use your thumb or your index finger. 4th fret of the G, 4th fret B, and 3rd fret high E string. You can also play with the thumb on the low E string and then grab the dominant 7, 3rd fret of the D string, alright, for a slightly more robust version. But my favorite version of this chord is actually with the open D string. That's got a lot of power to it. Okay, so you can play around with what version you like. Okay, that's going to give us all the chords in this progression. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, flat that index finger. You make me smile with my heart. Alright, now, the other option, like I said, is this very cool piano lick. Which is going to replace most of that rhythm work. Alright, so I started off hitting the diminished chord, just one stroke. Next, we're going up to the 6th fret of the D string. Alright, right there, that completes one measure of music. So that was 6 on the D, 5 on the G, 8 and 8 on the G and B string with the pinky. Alright, notice how I kind of mashed my ring finger into my pinky to allow me to bar more easily. Alright, then we're going down a full step, and then playing 8, 7 on the G string. I like to slide up into that initial note. Alright, then into the next measure. Alright, so that was 6, 7 on the G. String skip into the high E string, 6, 4. And then a strum of that G augmented chord. Very cool. You put all that together and we have 1, And you can really play around with the timing here. It doesn't have to be right on beat. Okay, you add that into the mix, starting from that A flat major 7/C. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Diminish. Alright, and then ending, grabbing that 3rd fret low E string and strumming through the augmented chord. Feel free to add in that D string. Alright, now into verse number 2, it's basically going to be the exact same thing, but we're just going to change up the tail ending so that way we can get ourselves into the bridge section. Alright, so that's going to look and sound like this. See if you can play along. The C minor chord. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable. Flat the index finger just like you did before. Yet you're my favorite work of. Alright, now we're changing it up here. We're gonna play. Okay, great way to get into that bridge section. Borrowing a lot from the original track, especially the bass. We're grabbing an F half diminished chord, playing the bass note, and strumming through before walking down to a B flat 7 add 13 chord. Fret 6, 6, 7, 8. Okay, put those 2 chords together. We have the same shape we played here in D, just up a minor 3rd. Next, I'm going to switch it up to an F minor 7 and throw in a little melody note. So this chord right here is frets 8, 6, 8, 9. Every minor 7 chord in the book. Alright, so we're going to hit the root note, strum through, then grab the 6th fret of the high E string before once again go into that B flat 7 add 13 chord. You add all that into the mix and you have verse number 2 and your transition into the bridge or the chorus, whatever you want to call it. It's going to look and sound like this. See if you can play along. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of. Here we go. Is your figure. Alright, and that'll get us into the bridge section. Okay, very good everybody. You have verses 1 and 2 complete. Now before we jump into learning how to play the bridge section, I just want to give you a tip for getting this down as a vocalist. It's actually deceptively difficult. There's a lot going on here, but one of the things that I can share with you to help you get your pitches is to first practice singing the C natural minor scale. Alright, in that scale you're going to find almost everything you need to sing. For example, we can play My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Now that's something I do over and over and over again. I might do that for a full couple of days of practice until I start to get all of those notes into my muscle memory. Now there's a whole bunch of different spots in this song that are pretty difficult to sing. One that really sticks out to me is in verse number 2, he's no longer starting his melody off of the root note. Instead, he's starting off of the minor 3rd. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Moving into a little chromatic area, 3, 2, 1 on the G string. So definitely take the time to see if you can find all of those little vocal licks inside the scale. That's 1 octave right there. And right there, your second octave. All right, from there, you're gonna be able to get down this as a vocalist much, much more easily. Okay, excellent work, everybody. Now we're jumping into the bridge section, getting started with an E flat major 7 chord. I'm gonna take some liberties here with some hybrid picking, adding in some nice rhythmic embellishments. It's gonna look and sound like this. Is your figure less than green? Is your mouth a little wee? When you open it to speak, are you smart? Okay, so that began with a nice little chord progression, E flat major 7, up to an F minor 7, which we already played. Taking that up a full step for G minor 7, and bring it back again. You're gonna repeat that twice. Is your mouth a little weak? Okay, so that E flat major 7 chord, frets 6, 8, 7, 8. All right, you can also add in the high E string with a bar if you like. Okay, so repeat that twice. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to break it up with some hybrid picking. All right, that was bass, D, double, and then an optional D string note again. Maybe mix it up. All right, the second time. I like to throw in a little comp there right at the end on that F minor 7 chord. All right, then the second half we're gonna play a walk down. All right, that's a good place to stop and learn. So we started off there with the E flat major 7 chord, breaking it up. Then I'll do an arpeggio on a G dominant 7 chord. Frets 3, 3, 4, 3. That'll set up a nice little walk down. And then a quick E flat 7 chord to get us to the next line. So there I'm playing chromatics, C minor 7, walking down to B flat minor 7. I like to throw in some hybrid picking here, bass, D, and then the highs. Then, all right, we're just gonna comp on those 2 other chords. Before, interjecting a quick little E flat 7 chord. All right, so far you have, is your figure less than green? Is your mouth a little weak? When you open it to speak, are you? All right, then finishing up this bridge section, we're just gonna play, are you smart? And again, this is all from my arrangement. You can play this in a lot of different ways. But what I like to play there is A flat major 7, frets 4, 5, 5, 4. Bass, down, slide up and arpeggiate the D half diminished chord. Just going right down the line before playing. The G augmented chord going down to a G dominant 7 chord. So that first shape, that's frets 3, 3, 4, 4. Then just remove the pinky and grab the 3rd fret of the B string with the middle finger. I'm strumming through that chord to create a nice little cliffhanger, getting myself back to the verse section, verse number 3 this time. You put that second half of the bridge together and it should sound like this, just the guitar. Arpeggio. right, now into verse number 3. Starts off verbatim just like your previous verses. But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Now we're gonna change it up and play. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. All right, and a nice chord that you can close up shop there, a C minor 9 chord. Okay, so it's very different from verse number 2. We're changing things up and playing an A flat major 7 chord. You can also call this a G sharp major 7. All right, we're gonna sing. Stay, little D half diminished, just like before, Valentine. But now we're throwing in G7 flat 9, frets 10, 9, 10, 9 with a bar. Next, a walk down, C minor 7. All right, then change the root note to a B before going to a B flat minor 7. A quick little E flat 7, just like you did before. And then it's very simple from here. An A flat major 7, just strum it. Each day is D half diminished, Valentine's. Interjecting once again that G7 flat 9 before. Resolving. Now you can just play a C minor chord, but why would you when you can play that beautiful C minor 9 chord? Frets 8, and then with the index finger we're playing the 8th fret of the D, G, and B string, but then the pinky's grabbing the 10th fret of the high E string. Alright, just pluck that chord apart for a beautiful ending to this tune. You put that entire verse number 3 together and it should sound like this. But don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. If you can play that, then congrats everybody, you're ready to perform. Alright everybody, thanks so much for checking out this Chet Baker acoustic guitar lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and let me know what song you'd like for me to break down next. I want to thank my patrons for making all these lessons possible. I hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And until next time, this is Rob coming at you from the Jersey Shore saying happy picking.